Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This is Jessie Bowen with the Becoming Author podcast. I'm really excited today because guess what? I have on my show a brand spanking new international best-selling author. I have with me today Grandmaster Stephen Miller. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, I am better, and better. Hey, I'm just trying to make the world a better place.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm excited. We're coming here to the Christmas, and now I try to get myself a Christmas gift each year. That's my own personal gift, and you got a special gift here. Of course, Miss Robin can share with it too. But you have that gift that you launched a book, and everyone. This is the book. It's available on Amazon. You can go and get you a copy. This is really amazing. So today we want to talk about the results of the book and, what does it really mean to be a best-selling author and how do you utilize that? And I got a great guy. He's been working several projects with me this year. And, really, Mr. Miller, you've done a great job of building your brand and, getting yourself out there and elevating yourself to become a best-selling author. So we want to congratulate you on doing that. Everyone, there's a banner running across the screen. So, hey, do me a big favor. Hop over there to Amazon, get a Kindle. Listen, Kindles are great because Kindle is a digital book download and you can gift them. So if you have someone that you don't know really what to give them, you can give them this children's book and you can gift it on Amazon. So all they need to do is download the Kindle app, so to the mobile phone or mobile device. And so that is an easy button to be able to do. If you are an individual that's thinking about writing a children's book, but you don't have an example or what does it really mean or whatever, this book is a really good guide to help you to be able to do that. So we're going to talk about the book so you can get some insight of, what the book, what is it about? Now, the very first thing that I want to say is that someone says, oh man, this guy here, he's just doing another book. And every week he's doing a book. Well, it's called to Become an Author podcast. So yes, every week I'm doing a book. And, and helping people to be able to write their books and to be able to monetize their books and be able to go to that next level. So everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. So if you're an author that's been thinking about a children's book, but you're just sort of stuck and you don't know, how to get started, then what you can do is contact Elite Publications. And what we can do is to help you to be able to publish your book. That is elitepublications.org. Again, check it out and we'll do that. So, I'm hoping that our show will be an inspiration. What can you do in 2026 to make the world a better place and make yourself better, be able to monetize? We write books because we want people to read books. So therefore, people read books, then that's how you begin to become a #1 best-selling author. So that's the first thing I want to say. So when we see up here, and these are his results that are up here. So he's got over 44 categories. We're probably at 50 categories that his book hit #1 hot release on Amazon. And it also hit #1 bestseller on Amazon. So what does that really mean? That means that Amazon, there's a rating list, shows you how the book is doing. If you're in the top 100 books, bestsellers on Amazon, technically you now become a best-selling author. Where our goal is with our authors, why be number 64 when you could be #1 with the right marketing strategy? So that means that there's over 20 categories, not just one. Most people think about being a best-selling author is one category. So Mr. Miller's book is hot new release. #1 so he had over 20 categories. This is in the US, Australia, Canada, and the UK. And number one bestsellers, that is 24. So that means that his books was outperforming, outselling, other books. So that is the key thing you want to do. If I write a book, I want someone to read it. And everyone, this is a great book. So, Mr. Miller, let's let's talk about what inspired you, number one, to make that decision that you wanted to write a children's book.
Well, as you know, I own my own martial arts school, CDR Taekwondo, Absecon, New Jersey, and we have a children's class. And so many times I hear, when we're teaching new techniques, especially to the newer belts, they just say, "I can't do that. I can't do that." And it's becoming such a mantra even outside of the school. Whether it's at home, trying to do something at the house, right? Like for example, riding the bike, which is one of the examples in the book. Kids just seem to give up too quick nowadays. I can't. So in my school, I don't let them say that. They know they can't say the words "I can't" unless they finish it with the word "yet," because there's a learning process to everything that you do. I mean, you didn't learn how to walk right away. You had to crawl before you could walk. You had to walk before you could run. So I try to make sure my kids say "I can't yet" in my program, because we just have to work on building slowly. And when I see it in my school, I said, well, this is not just a consolidated issue that I see, it's everywhere. So how can I help people outside of my program and kind of improve their mentality? So, I've been blessed, and like you said early on in the podcast right here, that you and I worked together on a couple other projects, and I just thought it was a great idea for you to help me put my idea onto a children's book and see what we can do to help kids, try to break that thought process and go beyond their thoughts and their ideas, and just stretch their limits and not give up.
And I think that is really brilliant of doing that. In the way that this book is really written to inspire people. We have people that come into our martial arts programs, and they're looking for the kids to build confidence, or just like I said, remove those negative words, or finding something for them to get involved, but there's no real image in front of them. What is that image? So a children's book is a great way to connect with the parents. It's a great way to connect with the students. And so when someone comes into your martial arts school or into your daycare center, into your business, then they get a copy of this book, because in the book, it has your philosophy of how you work with children, and it has an ending story that's a positive story. How one child came in and with sort of a negative undertone and not willing to try, and how you helped him to be able to do that. And so when I read that story, well, if you help this kid, can you help my child? So I think it's a powerful way. And plus, the thing that you have when someone is looking at your business, or looking at a martial arts, could be daycare or whatever, and they're reading your reviews, online. Well, he's this, and everybody has the same stuff. I'm a champion. I've been inducted in 25 Hall of Fames, and all, and it goes on and on and on. And the parents say, I just need someone that I know is qualified to teach my child. So now when you write a book on a certain subject, you now become an expert. And because you're an expert, so when people come in and they're looking at your school and they're looking around at other, programs and other businesses, you're now a published author. You're several times published author. So that makes you an expert. And your book now has helped someone to be able to resolve a problem. So that puts you out in front. And so when someone comes in now to your school and you sign a copy of your new book and you give it to them in their intro program, you're just increasing the probability of that person now said, yes, Grandmaster Miller School is the place I want to be. So, doing things, telling your story of how you now can help someone else, and putting it out there in black and white. Now you've got the the title, the big certificate on your wall, international best-selling author. So that really moves you up the ladder. So I know that you launched last week, and I know. Tell us about your book signing. And everyone, again, I'm with Grandmaster Stephen Miller. He now holds the title, and now he's been holding the title of in the books of these other books he's done, the Elite Martial Artist. He was an international best-selling contributing author in that. And so now he's a big boy. So he has now, hey, he don't need Hanshi now. He's standing over here by himself. So he is
I always need Hanshi, though. I always need Hanshi.
He is an international best-selling author. We just removed that contributing author. So this is great. And he's got several other projects coming up, this year. And
Yes.
People are always asking me, well, Jesse, you got all these books. Well, I have one book that this year I'm finishing book number 53. Someone says, how did you write 53 books? Well, there were just 53 things I was doing in my life.
Yeah.
So whatever I'm doing, if I got to sit down with pen and paper and write a plan, I might as well write a book. Because if I can now, create success through my plan, so therefore someone else that's doing a similar thing I'm doing, now they can now use that information and possibly create more success by doing that. So yes, yep. I got 53 books, but it represents 53 things that I was doing. I even have a book on bowling. Someone's got a book on. Yep, I'm a professional bowler. I was the bowling instructor at Duke University for 21 years, and all that. You got to have a book, to keep up with all that stuff. So let's talk a little bit about, again, we were talking about your book signing. So what are your parents and students, what they think? I know you had a special book signing with your kids and everyone last week. How did that go?
Fantastic, sir. I mean, we all came out. We had some cake and some chips and some drinks, and it was actually at a church, which is super nice because, I feel blessed by the Lord that He allowed me to have this opportunity. So it was the perfect setting to have my first book signing at a church. So we had about 30, 40 people there, and we came in. We just sat and talked about the book individually, small groups, and then they came up one by one. I signed them at the table, which was kind of cool. It's the first time I actually got to sign books by myself with somebody next to me getting pictures. Kind of felt nice, a little confidence booster myself. And then I read the book. They all sat down and we did a book reading where I read the entire book to them, and they flipped through their own pages as I was reading. And I interjected throughout the book about my experiences in those particular areas. And I made it more personal where some of the ideas came from. And they just thought that was the kind of the neatest thing because it kind of let them relate a lot more because I made it personal. And they really enjoyed it. It was a great experience, a lot of fun, good turnout. Looking forward to the next one. I have a couple schools already lined up to do readings, anywhere from K to 5th grade, where I'm going to be stopping in. I think right now where I'm at 3 schools over the next couple months. So we're going to be, just going in and reading to the kids and sharing this book with them. And, I'm just super excited about how it's being received by parents and kids. I mean, it's a great feeling.
Well, it's also, again, a relationship builder. So now everyone is starting to learn about Stephen Miller's his Taekwondo school. Everyone is starting to now learn, again, in those key places. So, your books in the library, teachers, now you're building this relationship. So now when someone thinks about maybe a teacher says, well, Johnny needs to study karate. And she says, well, there is, Grandmaster Stephen Miller. I would recommend, he's written a book on children. I would recommend, that's what we're talking about, is being able to become an expert. When you talk about yourself, that is ego. When someone talks about you, that is legacy. Yeah. That is legacy, one way or the other, whether it's good or bad. And so now you build that legacy in the community as that go-to person in doing that. I would go to my banker I say banker because when I need some money or I got a check coming in, I need someone over to make sure I'm taken care of. So I always give my banker a copy of my book, so he knows exactly, what I'm doing. But that's a good idea, And your banker may have children,
I did the same thing, sir. I did the same thing, and with the Elite Martial Artist volume, I gave him a copy of a signed copy, and he just thought that was the neatest thing. He's like, "Holy cow! I didn't know you were that famous." And I was like, "Yeah."
And guess what? When people see you growing, developing, moving forward, they want to help you, and that is the power of being an author. It's like on the news media, every person they bring on that's an expert, they got a book. Everybody's prepping themselves to write a book, got a book, and so. And yes, that is the movement of the 21st century. So coming into, in 2026, a book is the perfect tool to help you to do that. Does every book make Amazon's bestseller list? No. The average person that writes a book and then publishes a book on Amazon because they don't understand the keywords, they don't know the categories, they don't understand how to be competitive in the book marketing part. So Amazon has about 4,000 books per week that actually release. So they all fall to the bottom. Your book is not at the bottom. Your book is standing in the number one position. So when people go on and they look at it, and this is in multiple categories all across, the world, you got, again, Canada, UK, Australia, you have all these places, of course, US, and you have all these places that now people have accessed your books. They bought a copy of your book. So again, you're building not just a local brand for yourself, but you're also building an international brand and influencing also. So again, this is really, really super, outstanding, the things that you've done. And again, your book. Elite Publications, I consider us as the get her done organization. So, and that's sort of what we work on doing. So let's talk a little bit, about the experience that you had with Elite Publications. Would you recommend this? What was your experience?
Oh my gosh! Sorry.
I don't know if I should ask that question on that live air.
No, you can ask. You can ask. It's been an amazing experience, sir. I mean, you guys, again, this is my first solo project, and you and your team have walked me through the entire process. Whenever I had a question, I reached out to you. You helped me get to that next level, solve the problems because you guys have the experience that I don't have. It was just an amazing, wonderful experience to get from the beginning ideas through the end of actually getting it out there to the public. The whole experience was fantastic, and I highly recommend you guys. In fact, I've talked to a few people already that, a couple people have talked about martial arts books, and I said, well, I'm going to definitely refer you to them. And then my wife actually, she works in a hospital, and she ran into a lady whose daughter has been going through a lot, and she's been documenting everything. And she's like, I'd like to maybe write a book about this someday. And she said, my husband has an amazing publishing group I would love to recommend you. And so I'm going to, whoever wants to talk about a book, even if they don't want to talk about a book, everybody's got a story. You just got to get it out there. And I'm referring them to you, Hanshi.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. Because that's really important. And I try to safeguard people. And safeguard is that I've had so many clients that's come to me about, doing work on their book, and they've gone through other publishing situations. This is what you have to worry about, is that ISBN number, whomever holds that, really owns the book. And so what we try to do, we publish your book, we don't deal with your money, your revenue from your book. We publish your book, set up your own platforms that all money from your book sales go directly to you. You don't have to buy, books from Elite Publications, because we've set you up as a standalone, because people lose their rights to their books, or they never get book sales, or, they don't have any way of knowing book sales because the publisher stops sending you a report. You don't have any control over it. So your book is out there, it may be selling, may not be selling. But what we've done is set it up so that, you receive all the royalties, everything that your book is doing. You have direct access to your book, your back offices. You know what's going on. We do what you want us to do. If you want us to market your book, do your social media posting, whatever you want to do, then this is what we really try to be able to help our authors to do, that safeguard the rights to your book, that helps you to go to that next level. And I know we got one big project coming up, so we're kicking the year off. You and I are still hanging out because we have the Cynthia Rothrock book coming up, and that's coming up in January. And everyone just want to take a moment to chat about that. But we're still looking for authors that would like to be a contributing author with Grandmaster Cynthia Rothrock. Just imagine someone is already famous on this super level, and they help elevate you because you decide to write a book, a compilation book with them. We've got about 20, 30 authors that we are writing together. And then you have a chance to write with the legendary Mike Stone, the first martial arts champion. He's an author. He's in the Philippines, and he's doing such a great job. And then my great friend, Grandmaster Ron Van Cleef, and then Art Camacho. And, it doesn't really get better than to associate yourself with people that have already done, they've already done the film thing. They're already famous people. And so now when you connect with them, all it does is elevate you to this next level. So that's what we really want to be able to do. So Grandmaster Miller, so anything else happening? I know you're going to be at the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors, and
I am.
I know you're going to have some books there. If you don't have a booth and table, then you can always set your books over there on my table and hang out with me.
I'll be hanging out with you. Yep, I'll be there hanging out with you. I talked to Sifu Goldberg, and he said, absolutely, bring some books. You're more than welcome to have them, give them out there or sell them there. And so looking forward to that. That's January 30th and 31st, I believe.
Right, and then February the 1st. Yeah. So we're going to be there. So Elite Publications is going to have a book. So get over to the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors. If you're one of my martial arts friends, and now I got background on you, where there's social media or whatever, and you haven't been nominated, then once you can go to my social media page, Jessie Bowen, and you can message me and hey, I want to go to the Action Martial Arts, have not received a nomination. Be more than happy to nominate you. Plus, we're going to be producing book number 7. So this is the 25th anniversary. So if you are a inductee in the past or a 2026 inductee, get out with me, register your bio in the Action Martial Arts Magazine World History book. And you can actually, get in contact with me. And you can also message me, and that is Action. I'll have to type it in for a second. That's Action Martial Arts Historybook.com. Again, that's Action Martial Arts Historybook.com. Get your bio registered in this powerful book. It's just legacy. It's going to be in the Library of Congress. So this is a place where universities and schools that they use their catalog to make their buying decisions, about books. So you really want to be a part of the Action Martial Arts Hall of Honors. That's going to be coming up. So remember, we got a lot of stuff happening at Elite Publications. Like our podcast, share it with someone. Hey, we became the number one episodes on Spotify. So that means that we reached a lot of people. We try to be informative. And if you even have questions or things that I may not be answering or covering, you can always message me and I'll set up a special program to cover those things that you need to know about writing a book, about publishing a book, and number one, about marketing a book. Because if you don't market your book, it will die. Marketing is the oxygen to a book. So if you don't market your book, I can guarantee you it will die. Sir, any last things from you? I know you're still riding high. Again, everyone check it out. So again, Grandmaster Miller's book. Now, this is when we stopped. This was about a week ago, so I know it's hit more categories than this. So number one, not number 2, 3, 4, 5, but number one hot new releases and international best-selling book in 24 categories, not one category, but 24 different and unique categories that people are actually buying his book. And that when international bestseller, that's what it means, is that Amazon has millions of books out there. Where do you stand in those categories? So in the category of martial arts, karate, aikido, this has been a hot book. I was telling you the other day, we just released the magazine. So the Martial Arts Extraordinary magazine. Yep. And, it was funny when I went up there and I looked at the magazine, and we are in, I'm number 1 and you're number 2. So in the martial arts, we're now holding number 1 and number 2 position in best-selling magazines. And so again, just 2025 was a great year. Yeah. A lot of, great blessings. We met a lot of great people. So,
and the fact that I'm in the magazine, I'm actually holding number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? I'm not even sharing that part.
I'm number 1 and number 2, so I'm in that magazine.
Well, I'm not even sharing that part. Yes, sir. You are, one of our influencers of the year. So this year we did something different. We looked around at the people that were doing things, and so you're in the magazine as one of our influencers of the year. Great, information about your book and everything in the magazine. So remember, everyone, grab a copy of the magazine. The magazine is inspirational. It's motivational. A lot of great things in there. So check it out. Yes. Any last words from you?
Just, hey, if anybody's out there in the local South Jersey area, want me to come by to your school and do a talk, I'm more than happy to do it. The contact information is inside the back cover. Let me get to the right page. Inside the back is a whole breakdown of my school and contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to come to your school and read to the kids, or have them stop by the dojang at any time. And I'm happy to keep spreading the word and get the book. It's, like you said, number 1 bestseller. It's a great learn for not only children, but for adults the same. So please check it out. I'm sure you're going to love the book.
And I think there's about 64 pages.
Yeah, 63. I think, yep, it's in the 60s, sir, for sure.
Yeah, it's actually 66 pages. So that's a pretty large book. I mean, and so great story. Again, this is Elite Publications. And we remember, you want to be able to make your mark, and I would testify to you that one of the greatest things I've ever done was to write my very first book. The number of doors and opportunity that has opened for me. That's the reason why. And I've released 5 books this year myself. So, so every time again, but that just represents 5 things I was doing. It's not making up stuff. And these are 5 things that I'm actually doing. So therefore, I use the power of my experience to be able to share with others in there.
Well, that's important. Right, sir. Because that's important because it helps make it a personal touch, which lets it be more relatable to a lot of the people. And I think that helps them to get more involved in what you're writing about.
Well, you're absolutely right. And everyone, Grandmaster Miller and I, we're here having this conversation, with, you can, check out the other things that we're doing. But, 2026, everybody's talking about the economy and you have to take responsibility, for your situation. And how many things of value do you have? Maybe you just have a story that could solve problems or be informative and help someone else. And not every story is a positive story about what I did or what I didn't do, but it can be a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can share, I did these negative things, but this was what it got me, but now I know better.
Yep.
You can always do better when you know better. So again, give me a call. Let's talk about your story and see in there how can you make the world a better place. Remember, go to Amazon, get your book copy. Now, if you will go to Amazon and get a copy of his book, again, here's the book again. I can't yet. Get a copy, send me the receipt. I will send you 2 $100 hotel savings cards from Elite Publications. Just screenshot it, go to my Facebook, and just drop it in my messenger. And you can give these $100 hotel savings card away as Christmas gifts. So you go, well, things a little tight. I don't know. Cousin Johnny may not get anything. So if you buy a copy of Grandmaster Miller's book, I'm going to give you 2 $100 savings cards, and they're good for over 1 million hotels worldwide.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, listen here, it's a blessed Christmas. Let's all find a way to be able to give. All right, everyone, I am out of here. This is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen with the Becoming Author podcast. I am here with my good friend, Grandmaster Stephen Miller, a brand new Amazon international best-selling author. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. Everyone, enjoy your Christmas, your New Year. Be blessed.
Merry Christmas.